Look at it from this perspective. The hardest prison to escape is the one that you don't realize you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And for many of us, we're living in prisons, and the barriers, the restrictions, the boundaries are made up of our thoughts, our conditioned beliefs, our limited mindset, our trauma, our experiences from our past, where we have grown accustomed to accepting things that were never meant to be. Many people are thinking small. Many people are placing restrictions on their gifts and their talents. Many people are underestimating their potential, all because we're trapped in the mind.
Right.
And in order for us to transform our lives, we have to think bigger and greater than our current environment.
Right.
You have to see yourself beyond where you are now. What I'm saying is never downgrade your dreams to fit and match your reality, but you got to upgrade your vision to match your destiny.
Welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. This podcast is about men talking about everyday shenanigans, the stuff that makes us mad, to the topics that concern why in the world do these guys have a podcast. Let's get to it.
We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. Just going to keep rolling.
Welcome back, you guys.
Welcome back.
All right, so this is what we're going to do real quick. We're going to get it started. Listen, we're going to start the show the same way we do every single week. And I have to ask, AD, how was your week, brother?
It's all right. It's all right. This school thing is just, what we doing? But if we are, I think, officially going to be home. I voted for home. I talked to some school officials. They've been getting people coming in very upset because they want their kids to go back to school. And for some people, I do understand, because you have people that can't really afford to be home or have no means of their kids being home. So I understand the struggle with that. But we do, and I really, we don't know. It's such a unknown thing that about the whole virus. So I'd rather be safe than sorry, have my kids at home, though I would love for them to be in somebody else's building.
I would. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Home is where it works. It works.
It's what its safety is. And those of you guys who are watching, school, wherever part of the country you are, the school system is kind of jacked. I know ours out here in Idaho, where I'm at, is they have it's like you have a choice of virtual or in person, and even if you do it in person, they got a color system to where you can, like, my big kids that go to school like 2 days a week, and then they're virtual 2 days a week, and it's like this whole thing is absolutely a trip, man. I don't know. They got to fix this. Find a vaccine, hydrochloroquine or something. They need to do something. This is crazy.
Right. How's your week, brother?
My week is good, man. I haven't really done anything. Just worked. Nothing major really popped off. I mean, I'm reading current events. I just read before we went live today that former GOP candidate Herman Cain just passed away of coronavirus at 74.
Wow.
Wow. We can look at this crazy if we want to. I mean,
wow. That's shocking right there.
2020 is not playing any games with the people.
Wow.
So,
and he was still active. Like, he was still doing his thing and had a radio show. So wow.
Yeah. Wow. He went to that Tulsa rally. With that guy, president dude. And then 2 days later, he tested positive.
Wow.
And so he passed away just recently. So I'm wondering, it begs the question at this point, and we're not going to talk about it, but just begs the question. I wonder if President Trump is going to pay his respects to Herman Cain, unlike he did John Lewis. So I'm just neither here nor there.
Just think about that. All right, let's move on.
We're going to put a marker in there. So the first thing we're going to do, normally we do top five. We're not going to do top five, I think, not this week anyway. We have a section or a session called All Day Facts, and it's just one of those things that you just hear and you just this is factual. Right. Period. There's no lie detected. That part. Right. So today's All Day Facts was inspired by a young lady named Jennifer Benton, Benton on Facebook. If you guys follow her, she does advertising and all that good stuff. But she has a she did put up a post, and I had to put it up. I'm gonna put it up here in the all day facts section, and it says, "Saying I receive it won't get you results. The manifestation comes when you act like you received it." And all day facts. I'm just saying, because and us saved folks, we know how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I probably give you a word, or somebody gives you a word, and it's like, I received that in the name of Jesus. But then go home and cry about it, because you know. Right. And so I just want to put that out there. The all day facts saying I receive it will not get you the results.
And that's biblical. It's in James.
Exactly. And the manifestation comes when you act like.
Act like it's already done.
Yeah, that thing hit me dead. That thing hit me dead in my spirit. I don't know how.
Let that marinate. Shout out to Jennifer Benton. That was good.
Let that sizzle in your
spirits.
So before we bring our guest on, though, I just want to introduce him really good. I don't have a full intro, but what I do know is that I've been following him on Periscope for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And I do know that he's had the same time slot. He goes on the same time on Periscope every morning, never wavered. Is always there. And
consistent.
Just to have him on today is an absolute honor. Right? Because when AD told me that he was going to have him on, it was like, really? You got that? Out of all the things you do, you got
right. I was excited that he said yes. I was like, oh, all right.
And so I think he did Tony R. Sanders' podcast too, but
he did as well.
He did. Okay, so I follow Tony, so anytime Tony do something, I was like, okay. I said, that's the guy, we're gonna have him on the show. So it's quite good. So let me go ahead and introduce him. We'll only introduce you, David Gibson. If you guys are familiar with him on Periscope, he is going to be. I like his shirt. The God is dope shirt, and my wife has the same shirt. I couldn't get it because I'm too big and didn't have it in my size. But we're gonna bring him on.
Yes, indeed.
How you doing, good sir? What's happening with you?
Great day to you, brothers, man. This is extremely entertaining, to say the least, man. Awesome. I consider it an honor and a privilege, man. I'm just an average dude, man, doing phenomenal things with a phenomenal vision, man. But at the end of the day, man, I'm human just like everybody else.
That's my guy.
Listen, before we even get started, I follow people, I watch, and when you have what you do and you turn it into a business, your goal is, to get people to follow all your social media, go to your websites and stuff like that. And this gentleman is the same. He got his links, he got things that, they got the paid side, you got your free stuff, you got the paid stuff. But for this dude, he's like consistent in his branding. Like I was like thoroughly impressed. You go to his website, like everything flows in line from his live streams, and like all the colors, everything just, I don't know if he got a team or he's just gifted in himself. He just know who he is. Everything flows together. And I listen, I appreciate and honor this dude for just that alone is dope. Like that alone, and the consistency in his branding is very impressive. And and it's like I look like, okay, that's what I want. Just the consistent flow of everything, even to the way he dresses, like it matches his style. So if you need like even this portion, and I don't think he's selling that portion yet, but if you just need a blueprint on how to go from what you see live to what you see in the website and everything from social media, that's the dude you need to follow and watch.
Yeah, and let me tell you something else too. Like I said, I've been following Dave for three plus years.
Right.
And I've seen the progression. Right. We all started on Periscope, and we just had our phones, and it was like, And now we're doing full blown productions. On these platforms now. So y'all, I'm telling you, those who talk the same way.
Right.
We started out, we didn't have phones. We have computers, of course, but now it's a whole different production. So I admire the consistency, like consistency and the persistence.
Right.
Because a lot of times with social media, we look at numbers. We'll be lying if we say we didn't look at numbers, right?
Right.
If you get caught up in the numbers, you'll quit. And see, a lot of people got caught up in the numbers and quit.
Right. Yeah.
They had a story to tell, they had a blessing to give the people, but quit because they only had one person.
Right.
Yeah. And so I admire and I appreciate the consistency, because your following really appreciate the man you are now versus when you first started.
Right.
And so now you just David Gibson. It's just what it is. So let's shift gears right into the next portion of our podcast. Listen, we do a section. If you guys been here around a while, y'all know what we do here.
You know what time it is. It's that point. Tell them why you mad.
Tell them why you mad.
Upset, annoyed, and bitter. So normally I start, but today I'm gonna toss it to my brother Terry. No, I'm gonna toss you first.
We first.
And then my brother Gibson.
Hey man, can you give me a warning when you do that?
Nope. I don't. I'm an audible like.
I was ready. Okay, tell them why you're mad. I'm telling you why. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad today.
Yes.
I am mad today because Walmart stopped replacing watch batteries. And I can't understand. I have an Apple Watch. You guys can see that. I have an Apple Watch, right?
Right.
But I have this dope Fossil watch that I wear too, but I don't get to wear it because I change the battery.
Right.
So I go into Walmart thinking, hey, like they used to do it for $3 years ago.
Right.
And I go into Walmart thinking, hey, I could go ahead. Hey, can you change this watch battery? She was like, no. I mean, the whole same face and everything. I'm like, why are you being so mean though? I don't know what you do to my watch battery. And it's just like, and so we don't do that. So I'm mad at Walmart because they don't change watch batteries no more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got that raggedy chicken, but won't change my watch.
Oh yeah, that chicken that sits in the rotisserie for like
all day. Yeah.
all day marinated. All right, Dave. What's
Walmart?
What's bothering you today?
What's bothering me, what has ticked me off to the nth degree is, we're in an interesting time with everything with COVID-19, social distancing. Right. Many people are quarantined. Government has mandated that we stay home. Right. So when this was all kind of hitting the scene, I wanted to make the most of the time, and I wanted to invest in myself and develop new skills. Right. One of those things that I wanted to develop was to gain an understanding of how to grow my own crops, to start gardening, right? Okay. So in March, I travel out to Lowe's and I go on YouTube. I get the template and the blueprint to be able to create and build my own garden box. So I go and I pull out the saw and I'm cutting all the wood, get it all nice, get it created. I throw the topsoil in there and I plant a few things. I had tomatoes, I had green peppers, I had cucumbers. So I'm watering it, I'm nurturing it, taking care of it.
Yes.
A few weeks after I started, I saw these beautiful red, juicy tomatoes that were growing in. I'm like, yes, it's working. I planted the seed. I'm about to experience the harvest. I'm continuing to nurture it. And I'm waiting for this thing to grow so I can pluck it, and then myself and my family can benefit from the knowledge that I developed, the skill that I acquired, and then the time that I invested in making this thing happen. Only to find out, and I called them red-handed, a group of gangster squirrels crept into my garden, grabbed up all of my vegetables, and I'm catching them mid-act. Literally, he's munching on top of my deck like smashing. And I'm like, yo. It's like one of those moments when you give your all towards something and you're waiting for the reward, the outcome. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, only for it to be snatched away by one of those gangster squirrels. So that's why I'm mad, man.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. That right there, what he just said is a whole sermon.
That's right.
That's a whole sermon. We said he was waiting for the harvest, and the devil come in and snatch it.
Snatched it up.
Right.
That's a whole sermon. AD, why you mad today, man?
Man, and when we started off, I told you I was speaking about trash. Give David Gibson an example, but trash, right? So now, because everybody is check this out. They're taking advantage because everybody's home now. the trash is building up in everybody's houses a lot more.
Yeah.
So now the trash company is going up on their prices because of it. So I'm like, what? So I get some lame, corporate. They try to give you some lame excuse because of the waste bins of the recycling. I'm like, you just saying there's more trash. Is that what you're trying to say? More trash, and y'all don't want to do that much work for the because like the company I chose is like the cheapest on the block. They do the work. They're a little funky sometimes, but as long as you get rid of my trash, I don't even care. I ain't got to deal with you. Just get my trash. So now that their business is like getting a little heavy, they're having to add trucks and get more dumpsters. Now we got to pay the cost of being home. So I'm like, so that right there, and it ain't a lot. I'm kind of like Martin when he was protesting over $5 rent.
It's the principle. It's the principle. It's the principle.
Right. So I'm just a little upset with that because it's always it's a snowball effect. First, you're going to charge me an additional $8. Then you're going to charge me additional $10 the next couple of months because, who knows how long we're going to be stuck in place. Because honestly, we all know this is going to be kind of like the new norm. Some things are going to shift, but we pretty much going to be wearing masks, social distancing, glass up. I tell everybody, if you go to Brooklyn, you can already see Brooklyn is the place where the pandemic was there way back in the 80s because they always got glass and everything protected you anyway. They're already set up.
Chicago too, the same way.
Right.
Oh man, but listen though, we're gonna break right into our first break. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll be right here. We're gonna get a little bit more serious after the break. So that's just we got to cut up first. Got to get you in here, and then we'll drop the nuggets. All right, so hang tight.
What podcast can you find humor, knowledge, and everyday general conversation? That's right. It's the Brothers Who Talk podcast, hosted by Terry the Guru and AD Walker, live every Thursday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Charm City Direct TV. Go to facebook.com/Charm City Direct TV. You don't want to miss this great show.
All right, and we back. I like that kind of ad. I like that.
That's a classic line right there. If y'all don't see the comment Cole put,
you got
to know Mark.
I was going to know Mark. You got to know Mark. Venom trash.
Got to watch the show to know that one.
But it's kind of ironic that his namesake said that line in the show.
Right,
Cole Brown, and he was talking about Venom Spoon. So. Real quick, we're going to get into the meat of the podcast and why you guys are here today because we don't want to waste Dave's time. You got things to do. So, again, the man of the half hour, I introduced to you again, David Gibson. If you've been on Periscope for a while, you know exactly who this man's face is. So, Dave, Dave got some questions for you.
Of course, man. Rapid fire.
I think he's ready.
Oh, man, I'm always ready. All right, so so your main thing, I know you talk motivation, you talk change, you talk changing mindset. We always talk attitude. What does your day, and you're consistent, you seem like a dude that has a system, like a system of discipline. What does your day look like? A typical day in the life of Dave, waking up in the morning. What is your day? How do you structure your day?
There's a level of discipline, but at the same time, it varies depending upon what may be happening within the schedule on that particular day.
Okay.
But to answer your question directly, first and foremost, you got to protect the morning. I tell many people that are in my community, you want to protect your energy out the gate first and foremost.
Right.
And, part of protecting your energy is to gain awareness, to be mindful, to connect with yourself, to connect with God, to tap into your vision, and I do affirmations, meditation, setting aside time to visualize the success that you want to experience. And then a key part of my morning is my training sessions. We're essentially putting in that work to, get that sweat going, to create a win. It's all about creating wins first thing in the morning, where you set a goal and say, hey, I want to run this amount of miles in this amount of time. I want to be able to do this amount of push-ups, these amount of pull-ups or sit-ups, and you crush it first thing in the morning. And what that does is it enhances your confidence. And after I get done training, of course, I go live and I post, content on my social media platforms. And then from there, I may be doing research, or if I have a speaking engagement. Now that we're in COVID, a lot of them are virtual. So getting on the virtual, which is it has its ups and its downs. Of course, there's a benefit from being able to connect with people virtually in real time. You don't have to leave your house in the office. So, so that in itself kind of just entails what a typical day may look like for me. But again, it varies depending upon what I have going on in the schedule.
Nice. Oh, let's see. So with that, right? I know since you were born, since you were like walking, coming out of diapers, you've always had a disciplined lifestyle. But
not necessarily.
What was your what was your life before you found the discipline, and what changed your mindset? What changed you to get into your discipline?
Well, that's a packed question.
Okay.
A very packed question. But to simplify the answer, I will say this. The energy that I have now, the perspective and the mindset that I embrace now wasn't always the case.
Okay.
I went through moments when I felt less than. My self-esteem wasn't where it needed to be. Where I felt insecure, where I was afraid to speak my truth, and I was afraid to talk. I was afraid to open up my mouth. And essentially, the thing that changed the game for me was first and foremost when I began to realize who I really am, like the truth of who I am. You know what I mean? I talked about this last night in my mastermind session with my community. The challenge that many people face is that they have to understand it's not who you are that's holding you back, it's who you think you're not. So in order to get what you really want, you got to be who you truly are. Again, let me say that in order to get what you really want,
there you go.
You got to be who you truly are.
Yes, indeed.
And as I began to connect more and more with myself, what happened was a dream began to manifest, and I started to see the vision. And that's in itself what keeps me disciplined. And I'm not just talking about a vision that I have for me personally. Of course, that's a byproduct of my vision. But more specifically, the vision that I have that I can create with the gifts and the talents that I've been given, meaning my vision and my purpose is bigger than just me. You know what I mean? Like when you start attaching your goals and your dreams to something that's bigger than you, you feel convicted to stay consistent. You feel convicted to put in the work. You feel convicted to go the extra mile because you know that somebody somewhere is counting on you to be at your best. So when you guys see me go live on a broadcast on Periscope on a consistent basis, there's those days when I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel like talking in front of a camera. I don't feel like sharing insights. I don't feel like being inspirational. But then I remember there may be somebody on the other end that may be on the verge of giving up on their goals, giving up on their dreams, or worse off, giving up on themselves and their life. And that in itself reminds me, David, you got to get out your feelings and get busy shining your light so somebody else can benefit from the investment that God has made within you.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is kind of in layman's, just in case you guys are new in the social media game and don't know, in layman's terms, what David's saying is do it for that one person.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a whole bunch of people. That's going to be, you're not going to go live that first time and hit 500 people. You're not going to hit, and look, you're not going to have that. So you got to make sure that you do it for the one. I've known a lot of people. I myself have quit social media game because I didn't see those instant results. But when I got those inboxes from people that said to me, Terry, what you said to me 2 weeks ago made sense. And then it was like, oh, okay, maybe I got the wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. If you're doing it for the numbers, you're doing it wrong.
And it's brothers, man, if this can help anybody that's watching this live or on the replay, just understand it's not about what you do. That's what gets us twisted, right? We're not human doings, we're human beings. You know what I mean? It's about who you become. And in life, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You have to become the person that you want to experience, and you have to step into those shoes, meaning there's times, man, and I see my brother Dwayne Terry, One Purpose Mom, tuning in. He can actually attest to this. There was times when I first started streaming, there was one person on the broadcast. You know what I mean? And you would try to engage and you didn't get any feedback. But my mindset was, I'm not doing it for the numbers, man. I'm doing it for that person that made me on the verge of giving up. So the same fire that I give when there's 500 people on the stream, I'm giving that same fire when there's one person on the stream or nobody on there and somebody's catching the replay. Because it's not what I do, it's who I am. You know what I mean? If I step outside, man, and we on a bus stop, man, I'm gonna bring that fire. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm gonna bring that same energy like I'm on a live stream, because that's not something I do. It's a part of my character. It's engraved in my identity. So I can't turn that thing on and off. It's just who I am.
Wow, that was yes. So okay, so let me ask you this: what was one of the first things that you begin to change outside of your mindset? Like when you begin to want more, right? When we seek more to become better, right? And about the being and the becoming, what was one of the first things you begin to change in your routine or just in your life to become better?
Habits.
Okay.
Habits. I mean, when you boil it down, the deciding factors as it relates to the success that we experience and the things that we achieve, it boils down to your belief system and what you do every single day.
Right.
The philosophy that you embrace and the habits that you have established.
Right.
You want to start aligning yourself with successful habits and incorporating them into your daily routine. Like I mentioned earlier, creating a morning moment with yourself, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's doing a devotional, creating successful habits, working on a skill, taking time out of your day. We all got 24 hours, right? You know, figure out how you can invest in yourself within those 24 hours. I get it. We have parents that tune in. You have responsibilities. You're working a job and a position, but that doesn't stop you from tuning in to Netflix.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like Netflix just launched that they got the rights to the UPN series. You know what I mean? Like the shows that we all grew up watching. And a lot of people are you're gonna make time to watch that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The same way that you make time to do things that would be considered a luxury, make time to invest in yourself, listening to podcasts, tuning into videos of people that may inspire you, that will help you develop a skill, opening up books, going out and connecting with other people that have unique and specialized knowledge that you can benefit from to take your vision to the next level. It's all a matter of how bad you really want it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's just, again, layman's terms for the front and the back. you are what you eat.
Right. Yes, indeed.
You are what you eat. So whatever you ingest into your body, into your spirit, is what is going to come out.
Right.
It's just like when you go outside and it's hot, and if you drink a Pepsi, you're going to spit that Pepsi back out. Take it from me. I do it every day. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Melissa, it is you are what you eat. So be mindful of what you put into your system. So one of my questions that I want to ask you, Dave, actually AD questions, but
AD's the mastermind. He's the mastermind, right?
He's the architect of all of this. Trust me, brother, lady, he's the architect. What was one of the hardest things for you to change, Dave, in the beginning?
The mind.
Yeah.
Because
that hard.
Look at it from this perspective. The hardest prison to escape is the one that you don't realize you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And for many of us, we're living in prisons, and the barriers, the restrictions, the boundaries are made up of our thoughts, our conditioned beliefs, our limited mindset, our trauma, our experiences from our past, where we have grown accustomed to accepting things that were never meant to be. Many people are thinking small. Many people are placing restrictions on their gifts and their talents. Many people are underestimating their potential, all because we're trapped in the mind.
Right.
And in order for us to transform our lives, we have to think bigger and greater than our current environment.
Right.
You have to see yourself beyond where you are now. What I'm saying is never downgrade your dreams to fit and match your reality, but you got to upgrade your vision to match your destiny. And that's easier said than done.
Yes.
Because we perpetually think the same thoughts. And if I'm thinking the same thoughts, I'm dealing with the same emotions that create the same behaviors, that create the same outcomes, and ultimately create the same environment that I grow accustomed to.
Right.
So what happens is you create a pattern and a cycle where your thinking is equal to your environment, and your environment is equal to your thinking. And the only way that things are going to change is if you elevate your mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Every new level in your life is going to require a greater version of you. I got to think greater than where I am now to expand and enhance the quality of my life. And for me, that was a challenge, because the difficult part about it is when you grow so accustomed to something, particularly on a subconscious level, when you have fears and doubts and insecurities that are conditioned within you, the challenge that we often face is they're happening undetected and unnoticed. So we have to take an objective view at our subjective narrative, which requires you to invest time in assessing and observing what you are thinking about. So for somebody that may be tuning in, just ask yourself, what area in your life seems not to be functioning the way that you really want it to function? And I can guarantee you there's a thought process or limited belief that's creating that dysfunction. But the only way that you're going to gain that type of mindfulness and awareness is if you step back and evaluate what you're really thinking about. My grandmother used to say, you can't see the picture if you're in the frame. You got to step back to see what's really taking place. And once you become aware, that's when you become empowered. Self-awareness is the first step to becoming self-empowered. Because now I can begin to identify, this is not of me. That's a lie. That's a limited belief. I keep telling myself I can't do this. And that's the only thing that I've actually decided that I can't do, or I'm the one that created that mindset. You know what I mean? Like when I hear somebody say, I can't do it, I ask them, who told you you couldn't? And they say, well, I did. And I said, if you can tell yourself that you can't do something, you can also tell yourself that you can do something. It's all a matter of the decisions that you make within your own mind.
Wow.
That's stanky nuggets right there. Like, I don't even want to. But if you want to follow this man, David Gibson, man, listen. Elevationismust.com is going down at the bottom. Make sure that you guys go ahead and follow him. So we're going to take our second or our last commercial break for the podcast. So y'all guys bear with me. If you have not shared this shit, what's wrong with you? It's free. It's free to share. Go on and share.
Nuggets is free.
Go on and share. Be right back. All right. Welcome back, you guys. If you haven't shared it, like I said, if you haven't shared it, go ahead and share it. Sharing is caring, like AD always says.
Yes, indeed.
So we're gonna go ahead and bring it on home. AD, you got the last question for me, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I want to
a couple more questions.
Yeah. I'm always curious. So you talked about mindset. We always talk about limiting, breaking those limited belief systems.
Indeed.
And you kind of broke down like where they come from. Of course, we come from ourselves, and we place that stronghold on our own minds.
Yeah.
What is the way that I can move from I can't to I can? Like, what does that look like to you? Because I know you've coached a lot of people, and you dealt with a lot of knuckleheads that I'm sure, climbing that mountain of like, dude, you got to get over this. You got to get over this. So what is our biggest stronghold between the I can't to I can?
Well, to begin the answer, I will say we're all knuckleheads in some regards.
Right.
Where let the truth be known. If we're truly honest, we all have limited ourselves in some regard.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like there's always been a part of us that is pulling us back, where we're trying to hit the accelerator and then that part of us that's slamming on the brakes.
Right.
But to answer your question, let's first break down the dynamics of a belief system, because that's what it really boils down to. If I tell myself that I can't do something, that's a belief that I have.
Right.
It's a limited belief, but it's a belief that I'm living my life by.
Right.
Beliefs are made up of three components, okay? You have thoughts, emotions, and then experiences. So the beliefs that we have are tied to the experiences that have occurred in our life.
Okay.
Every experience has an emotion that's attached to it.
Right.
An emotion is energy in motion. Energy is thought.
Right.
So think about the moments when I'm afraid, I'm intimidated, I'm procrastinating, I'm postponing things, and I'm neglecting to take that initial step. I have that emotion of fear that's running rapidly within my mind because I'm attaching it to some experience. Maybe it was an occurrence when I tried something in my past and it didn't work. Maybe it was that counselor in high school that said you'll never be anything great in life. Or maybe, here's the kicker, maybe it was an experience that you didn't physically take a part of, but it was something that mentally and psychologically became conditioned, because we can actually experience something within our own mind. The crazy thing about our minds is we can have an experience and the mind doesn't necessarily know the difference between something that occurred and something that you imagine. So for many of us, we create these negative experiences. This is going to happen. This is going to occur. I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to humiliate myself. It's not going to work. It won't succeed. In order for me to change my belief system to overcome that challenge of I can't, I have to change the experience. In order for me to change the experience, I got to make the decision to step into it. And that requires courage. Real quick story, okay? Same scenario. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for training, physical fitness. I just love to be the best me. I'm aiming to just see how far I can really take this thing physically. Stepping into the gym, had an individual approach me. Brother was like, yo, man, I really admire what your workouts look like, man. You out here putting in that work. I'm like, man, just join me. And he's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, man, I'm on the pull-up bar. I'm like, hey, man, hit this pull-up. I can't do it. I said, who told you couldn't? It said, I did. I said, let's overcome that belief system, all right? So what I did was, I said, let's try this workout here. The wall sits. Like when you're sitting on a wall, and you're pretty much halfway down, like your knees are at 90 degrees. I told him, I said, let's do this. I can't do that. I'm like, bruh, you keep saying I can't. I said, we can do this for 3 minutes long. He said, no, man, no, forget that. I said, take it step by step. We did it that first initial day for an entire minute. And then every single day for the next 14 days, I said, let's put in that work. Every single day, we increased the time in increments. Day by day, went from minute and 15 seconds, minute and 30 seconds, all the way to 2 minutes. Would you know, we didn't stop at 3 minutes. We went all the way to 6.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, the only thing that was stopping you from achieving this was not you physically, but you mentally and psychologically. And that's the challenge for us. It's not that you're not gifted, not talented, not good enough, not qualified, no experience. You have this belief system that you can't do it. The only way you're going to overcome it is if you make the executive decision. I'm drawing the line here and I'm taking action. And that requires courage, right? But we have to understand, Mark Twain said it best, courage is not the absence of fear. It's the mastery of fear. It's you navigating through the fears, you being afraid and you doing it anyway. Nice. So it's you making the decision. I'm going to give myself permission to try something new. I'm going to give myself permission to make mistakes. I'm going to give myself permission to step into a new environment so I can create a new belief system. Because as you make that decision, what you're doing is you're changing your experience. And when you change your experience, you can adjust the emotion that's attached to it. And that emotion creates a new thought process, which establishes a new belief system.
Right there. Bam. You got that for free.
And we ain't have him on Brothers of Legacy yet. Like, what? What's going on here?
No, he got his own show on another channel at that time. So he's building it up. But one time we can get him through one day. We're gonna get him through one day.
We're gonna do a special edition or something. Have Dave on.
All right. So first off, of course, we've been putting it down at the bottom, but you let us know where we can find you. What can we get? And I know you spoke. You kind of tapped into it. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to really talk about your community because I want folks to be a part of that need it.
Yeah. So for starters, I guess the base or the hub of where you can stay connected with me is on my website. That's elevationisAmust.com. Again, elevationisAmust.com. I see it scrolling through here on the screen. On all social media platforms, my handle is consistent at @1 Gibson. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube.com David Gibson on there as well. A few things that you can actually take a part of as it relates to joining our community. Of course, we have our live stream broadcast. That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's live on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, as well as YouTube simultaneously. Then you can also join our Facebook group chat. The links are all available on my website, elevationisAmust.com. To take it a step further than that, in our community, of course, it's like-minded individuals that share common goals, but then in our mastermind, that's when we dive deeper into topics on staying empowered, personal development, gaining the understanding of how to envision greater possibilities and experience a greater reality, where we're breaking down step by step how you reinvent your belief system, how you establish successful beliefs. And we're even diving into more various different types of topics as far as like mental awareness, health and wellness, as well as entrepreneurship, financial literacy, economic empowerment. That's where we're heading in the very near future. But essentially just creating a space where people can grow holistically, where you can come and be sharpened. You can gain skill sets. You can connect with like-minded people that are going through the same struggles that you're going through. And that's key as it relates to longevity, as you're working towards your goals, to be able to communicate with people that just get it. You know what I mean? That understand, like, this is the struggle. And it's like, hey, bro, I've been there. Keep pushing. The storm's going to pass. Or, hey, sis, I'm really going through it. You got it in you. People that can speak the language that you can actually interpret because they're right there in the trenches with you. That pays dividends in your future. So again, to connect with the mastermind, go to the website, just hit the mastermind page. We're going places. We had a phenomenal session last night, man. We've been diving into this meditation practice that I designed that's assisting individuals to gain new levels of awareness, to reinvent the way that they communicate to themselves and what they believe. Because people don't recognize how influential our thoughts are and how influential our belief system is as it relates to what we're experiencing in life. Perception truly is reality. So we've been diving deeply into the rules of your mind and understanding the dynamics of your belief system to help adjust those beliefs to be aligned with your vision and your purpose and your goals. And then last thing, if you're interested, I have my newest book, Come Alive, where I talk about 8 success principles.
Wait a minute. You got a book? Oh, see, Dave, why you have to lead off with that, sir? You can't wait for the end. I didn't know you had a book. You got to lead.
Yeah, man. I mean, on my website, there's free resources. I got free ebooks and downloads. My book is available on my website as well. 8 success principles that I applied to my life that helped me unleash the greater me. And I talk about my journey. I talk about my story of overcoming my internal conflicts, tapping into my greater potential and unleashing that to the world and using it in a purpose.
Definitely gotta get that.
Then our apparel too. We just launched our apparel last week. So
yes, I seen that. Oh yeah, I gotta get one.
So own your life.
T-shirt. I love a t-shirt. So I'm going just to get a t-shirt. But so all of that, what you just said, is a great segue into my final question to you.
Yeah.
Is that at the end of the day, Dave, when this is all said and done, when God calls you home, what do you want people to remember David Gibson for? What's the ultimate goal here?
Very, very simple. And I talk about this on many broadcasts, and I highlight this in my bio on all of my social media platforms. The goal has never been to become known, but the goal has always been to become somebody that's worth knowing.
Right. That's good.
Think about the difference in those philosophies.
Right.
My goal is to constantly grow, to improve, and to develop, and to become extraordinary so I can add value to myself. And as I add value to me, I'm being in a position to add value to others. And that's what it really boils down to. Us using our gifts and our talents to move humanity forward.
Right.
My mindset is I want to help individuals like you, people that are tuning into this, to live out their dreams, because your passion is purposeful. The gifts that you have, they're purposeful. And as you step into your purpose, we can create a bigger, better, and greater world. That's what it boils down to.
Nice.
Man, well, Dave, let me tell you, these 43 and a half minutes there have been the greatest. I mean, we've done a lot of shows here at Brothers Who Talk. We've had a lot of guests.
Yeah.
We've had Felix Anderson and Ruben Arana and amongst others.
Phenomenal brothers. Brothers. Yeah.
We're getting them all in there.
This one
was good.
It was. And it's very rare that I'm speechless. This mouth is always running.
It's real talk. Yeah.
This one is somewhere else. So we want to thank you.
Definitely.
For coming through, taking your time. You got things to do. You got a whole community to run over there, and we appreciate you here at your brothers. If you get a chance, go ahead and share this to your following. Maybe somebody like us too.
I shared it out. Man. And let me say this, man. I commend you, brothers, on what you're building and the truth that you're speaking. And how you're impacting individuals, man, with the knowledge that you've been blessed with. And that's what it's all about, man.
Yes,
so keep shining your light, keep speaking truth to power, man, and keep stepping out there and being unashamed of being who you are and unleashing the vision that God's given you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Hey, I just before we go, I know we're about to close out.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have noticed this brother is coordinated with the hat that says I that coordinates with the shirt.
It's strategic.
I just wanted. Yeah, I know.
This is our apparel, man. That's the elevation is a must hat, man.
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna rock that.
As soon as we get done here,
and the book, I gotta get. Yeah. We're gonna definitely bless that, and let everybody know about it, because you know we all have something inside of us, and I believe. And I know you believe as well. We're not about competition, we're about collaboration.
That's what it boils down to, man.
Grow together, and I love it.
That's the thing, man. I mean, people don't realize the pie is big enough for all of us to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Particularly, man, in our community, it's more so it's like, oh man, they shining, and it's like your shine is taken away from my shine. No, that's not what's taking place, man. Your shine is evidence that you too can shine.
Right.
So instead of competing with me, collaborate with me and say, man, how'd you do it? Hey man, let me give you some game.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is what you got to do. Yeah, because at the end of the day, man, we all have our own personal circle of influence.
Yes.
I can say something that may not connect with somebody, but you can say the exact same thing, but because they're part of your circle of influence, they resonate with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a matter of us understanding, man, it ain't about me. It's not a me thing. It's a we thing.
It's a we thing.
You know what I mean? It's about us stepping into our power, inspiring other people to do the same so we can inspire the world to be greater. That's what it boils down to, man. We are building armies. Armies.
I think I lost AD.
Lost AD, man. He's on fire, brother.
He was like, he's on fire. But Dave, we want to thank you for coming through, man. We really, really appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
But before we go, hang tight with us.
Yeah.
We'll come back in. Hey, AD, welcome back to.
All right. Tell them why you mad next week.
All right. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, follow the podcast.
Yes.
In a couple of days on Spreaker.
Yes.
You can follow David D1, the number 1 Gibson.
Yes.
The website, elevationistheMust.com.
Yes.
You can check out the Brothers Who Talk on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all them places. And don't forget that on our YouTube drive is that we're driving to our first 100 subscribers.
Yes.
So our first 100 subscribers will be drawing to a hat for a Amazon gift card. So make sure if you have not subscribed to the Brothers Who Talk YouTube channel, please go do so. All right.
All right, guys.
But in the meantime, in between time, you guys have a great rest of your week, man, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Brothers Who Talk. Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. Check us out again next week, where we bring you a steaming helping of common sense, laughs, and advice. We can be found on any podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're also on MileHighRadio.com, Saturdays at 12 Eastern. See you there.
Schedule. Would you like to go live? Hey,
this is why we're here. What's up, you guys? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk live podcast right here on Charm City Direct TV and Facebook. How you guys doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hammer. He's banging something.
That's because I put him in the bedroom. I locked him in there because his mama is in there.
Okay.
He's like, I want out. I ain't trying to have that.
Right.
So
He should break out.
That's kind of what it is.